There are two types of men of culture in this world. There are those that watch hentai for the plot, and there are those that skip to the fight scenes.
Look at this dude. Ah, look at the top of his head. Look at his lips.
This is the ultimate yin and yang that keeps the world operating smoothly. This is the Gandhi versus Thanos that we were so lucky to see in the latest Avengers movie. And this is the dynamic, chaotic force that every living being has within them. Many philosophers, as they like to call themselves, have discussed this for eons, but they've discussed it from a different light. Are you a boobs guy or an ass guy?
Hoo-ah.
Well, I believe that's only the tip of the iceberg. I think plots versus fight scenes is a more accurate representation of reality. So, without further ado, the most fan-requested video I've ever gotten, aside from No One Understands Digimon, No One Understands Zoro, and make the honest descriptions on the Hokage, which are all definitely gonna happen except for the honest descriptions on the Hokage, because I made it already. Today, we will be discussing the greatest plots in hentai.
Why? This is sickening!
Maybe we'll talk about the greatest fight scenes on another occasion, and if this video gets over 50,000 likes, I will make a second greatest plots in hentai, and it will hopefully be out within a week, but no promises on this one. I will try, fam.
This video is not sponsored by anyone, because no one in the right mind would want to sponsor this. Not even YouTube, which is why I would wager my left nut that it is demonetized. So, I figured, hey, I don't like plugging, but this is literally the best time to do it since, I mean, discussing the greatest plots in hentai is literally selfless God's work right here. Totally done for the community. So I wanted to let y'all know I actually have merch. I haven't had merch in like a year because I was waiting until I find something I liked, and I like this, so I just made merch yesterday after working with an artist for a while. Sanity is overrated, which no, is not a meme on the channel. It is the channel. I know. Pretty sad in a way, but also very epic. And also, if you don't want the text, I have it without the text. And if you don't want a witty avatar of myself made in a very cute/creepy way that I happen to love, here's just a sassy skull. Very cool. And since I can't possibly make merch without a meme, here's hasta la vista, memeing Black Clover a little bit. All that link is in the description to my merch store. Definitely check it out. It directly supports the channel. Thank you very much, fan base. Very cool. On to the meat and potatoes of the greatest plots in hentai.
The ball is in your court. It's not like I want to do this video or anything. Not like I wanted to do the research for this video. But no, I'm the selfless guy that YouTube needed. I am doing this for the good of the world. Let's just jump right into it. And fun fact, with my recent streak of demonetization, there is no way this is making it through green. Feel free to hit the join button next to the subscribe button to become a member of the channel so you can have special emojis and whatever, as well as cool banner thingos next to your name in the comments. Would really appreciate it. Thank you. Very cool. Also, I'm definitely gonna need to start streaming on Twitch. Link in the description for that as well. First hentai. What the hell am I doing to myself? The first hentai with incredible plot I would like to talk about is Yokoso Sukebe Elf no Morie.
I tried to say it in very epic Japanese accent and now for some reason sounds Russian.
To not hinder the fact that it's the most relatable plot of all time. Not that it would per se happen to any of us, but allow me to express myself better. This is literally an isekai anime like the 14 isekais that come out every season. And it's beautiful. I mean, if this plot can pass off for a legit anime, then it can pass off for an hentai as an amazing one. Dude ends up waking up transported to another world. And in this other world, you know what's up? That's right, you get every shape and size elf woman that wants to have sex with him. Literally the same exact plot as 95% of isekai anime. And you know what else is up? His penis! Because I would argue and say that Yokoso is in fact a better written anime plot-wise than 95% of these isekai.
Oh no, he didn't.
Trash! Normally you have your dude, he dies or whatever the hell happens to him in the real world, we don't really care. He pops up in this fantasy world, gets a harem of women, and then proceeds to not bang any of them. I don't know, this doesn't sound very realistic to me personally, especially if they all want to bang them, which they usually all do. In this anime, oh hell yeah does he bang them. You see, all the disillusions from your average isekai anime, like, wait a second, why doesn't the protagonist bang these women? Which completely takes you out of the entire fantasy world. world are destroyed for Yokuso, which is a plot clearly beyond our scope of imagination and hits realism to a T. Just like Konosuba talks about Kazuma, who's a massive asshole, and that's the reason why he doesn't have sex with the women, because they don't really want him, which is relatable. You can have a total polar opposite. A protagonist that's a chick magnet that gets transported to another world, in this case, a world that happens to have no other males, so literally everyone in the entire universe wants him, which I think is great writing on the hentai's perspective. Of course he's gonna bang him. He's a dude. So Yokuso, the wonderful hentai, takes all this into perspective and realizes we are gonna not just make one of the best goddamn hentai on the planet, but we're gonna make one of the best goddamn isekai on the planet. We're gonna get rid of all that pseudo-intellectual realism, and we're gonna make this thing work. And they do. So, at this point, top 5 isekai anime of all time. Number 1, easily Digimon. Hands down. Nothing even comes close. Second, we have Konosuba, because Kazuma is an asshole I relate to. Then, Yokuso Elf no Morie, probably, because of its sheer realism and how it talks about human psychology. And also, the fight scenes are amazing. The hentai kind of fight scenes, not the isekai kind of fight scenes. And we all know which one we prefer. Next, hentai. Not all heroes wear capes, but this guy does. This is a little known hentai called Yes, he is a vigilante for justice, penetrating society at its darkest hour. It's not the hero we needed, but the one we deserve. Essentially, it's the anime version of Deadpool, but he uses handcuffs in a slightly different way. This guy thrusts at evil repeatedly. Like, a lot of times in this goddamn 2-episode show. And in case you couldn't tell what Rape Man does by this superhero title he has, well, I will leave that to your imagination, because my goal for this video is to only get this video demonetized and not the rest of the channel. And I feel like describing this in more graphic light will not exactly bode well. But imagine in My Hero Academia, right? We're training kids to become superheroes, but occasionally some people say society will not stand as is. Like Stain, for example, from My Hero Academia. Wonderful example right there. This guy becomes a vigilante. He's not exactly following all the laws to T, let's just say. I am the law! But Rape Man knows what's up, and he will protect society in every way he can. And it somehow involves a lot of the use of his name, and I'm not exactly sure the philosophy behind it, but like Thanos is made out to be a wonderful villain by the Marvel stans, Rape Man is a wonderful hero by the hentai ones. Very cool, Rape Man. Very cool. If I ever have children, I know which superhero comics I will be buying them first. And also, this is now my go-to anime recommendation for SJWs.
And we don't Welcome to the Cupid Hotel.
Right! Next hentai! I am legit euphoric to talk about this hentai. It fills me with euphoria to even mention its name. Yes, it's Euphoria. You all know what I'm talking about already. I'm disappointed when people describe this hentai. They say, well, it's like Saw, where people are trapped in a white room and they're forced to like have sex with each other in really creepy electrocuty ways that involves a lot of scat and poop everywhere, or else they all die. It disappoints me personally, because Euphoria, a masterpiece in its own right. This thing legit should go the other way around. When people say, what's Saw about? I want to hear people say, well, it's a less sexy version of Euphoria. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. For those of you who don't know and are curious about what this is about, as I've mentioned, a lot of people trapped in a room where they're forced to follow orders and how they're gonna have these weird, different, sexy times. That does not at all involve weird maneuvers and a lot of corpses everywhere. This thing is legit a classic in the making. It's 6 episodes of holiness where they use every single hole in the body. Okay, fine, I'm getting ahead of myself here. They make new holes to find new horizons. Oh my god, this thing is just next level genius. And for those of you who don't know, it actually does have a plot. Yes, a very convoluted one, because it was a visual novel with multiple endings and the anime tried to cram them all into the same thing. They made it look like it was just restarting every 2 episodes. Yes, I understand that may be confusing for pea-brains and plebeians.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
I understand that people don't like how the continuity is everywhere where, oh, we're on a beach. Next episode, oh, we're in a shed. People don't like that shiz, but clearly it's because they have never watched Rick and Morty. It takes a 4,000 IQ mind to understand Euphoria and how it tells us magnitudes about human society today. Euphoria literally means happiness, and people are happy when they are having sex, for example. Now, the death game clearly represents us all being trapped in our own mind because consciousness-altering devices are actually used within the actual brilliance of this series. I personally think Euphoria is deeper than Serial Experiments Lane, and I'm not even saying that ironically. Okay, I was saying that a little bit ironically. But just like we are all trapped within our own mind, and that is where we find ourselves depressed and sad, the only way out is to be free. We must escape from our own mental blocks that are standing in our own way to truly find Euphoria. Yes, greatest plots in hentai, ladies and gentlemen. My most inspirational video. Next hentai! Eroge! H-mo, Game-mo, Kaihatsu Zanmai. And if you think that title is complicated, wait until you hear about the intricacies of the fascinating dynamics between the brilliant cast of what I would like to call Eroge, without the rest of the title because it's legit too complicated to read every single time. So now, Eroge takes place in a Eroge studio where they are making hentai games and stuff. Now, of course, all the workers are
women.
Very, very accurate representation of real life. And all the women working there are hot women. Even more accurate representation of real life. But unfortunately, oh, whoa, they're all like virgins and don't know anything about sex and stuff. So they hire a dude to literally teach them the more beautiful things in life. And teach them he does. In order for them to make an entire variety and variation of hentai games, he has to teach them a whole variety of different, pleasuring things. You're probably thinking to yourself so many things. Why don't they hire people that actually have experience? Why don't they hire mostly dudes who actually are the ones that mostly work in this department in real life? And to answer both of these questions, I say, don't be such a downer. People need to follow their dreams. Whether it's to become the Pirate King, to become the greatest Hokage, to become the #1 hero, or for these women to make hentai games, I don't care. They grab the world by the balls, literally this time, and they are gonna become something amazing. They envision what they want for themselves, and they will not let anything stand in their way. So even though they have no experience in the art of sex, that is just something that they're gonna need to overcome, and overcome it they do. Come it they do, in fact. And that's why Eroge is one of the most inspirational series I've ever seen. It's not just about a bunch of girls that are for very weird reasons working on making hentai games, and they have to hire a dude, have sex with all of them in many weird ways, and teach them the ways of the world. It's a story about growth and overcoming adversity. Normally, they would not be the right ones for the job, but they don't care. On a deeper level, this simple series about a scenario where a dude could bang a bunch of bitches is better than My Hero Academia. Trash! Next hentai! So this one is called Body Transfer. When an entire school of women and gentlewomen get teleported to this really weird alternate reality space thingo, which is already deeper than most isekai storylines, just putting that out there. And in this alternate reality, the women and gentlewomen switch bodies, and they're like, oh my god, the only way to get back to our regular bodies are to have sex with each other while in each other's bodies. Which again, deeper than most isekai anime, just saying. Now, some people may find it awkward to be transferred into the body of the opposite sex, and find it awkward they do. But they brave that adversity, and they bang each other to save the world. And you know I'm serious, because it's at the world, not Zawardo. And speaking of body transferring to save Zawardo, Tamashi Insert is also a wonderful plot for a hentai. Someone gets the ability to transfer half of his soul into a woman's body, so now he controls that woman's body, unbeknownst to that woman. So of course first he does it on his sister, because, you know, incest isn't weird. And when he's like, oh my god, it actually works, he proceeds to do it on literally everyone. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, Nux, I understand that the fight scenes may be amazing in this hentai, but what about the plot? This is supposed to be talking about the greatest plots in hentai, and this seems relatively generic, because we're living in a world where incest and body transfers both have somehow become generic. I know, pretty crazy. But now we get into the interesting part. This absolute mad lad realizes that this ability was given to him by, like, this goddess woman with massive tits. Now, goddess woman with massive tits comes to him and says, I see I've given you this very interesting power that's not at all meant to be used in sexual ways, and you've used it in sexual ways, you absolute twat. Now, I will take this power from you because I am a massive goddess with huge tits, because you used it in a terrible way, and I will send you to hell.
Look at this. I swear to God, it's the kind of shit you'd expect Tiger Woods to tee off with. Look at it.
So what does he do? The absolute mad lad uses a power on Goddess Woman to take over her body. And now he also has the power of a goddess and also makes her have sex with literally everything that moves. Yes, the plot is very intricate on this one because it's not just a story about him taking over women's bodies and having them have sex. No, that's not at all what it's about actually, even though that's what I've just described. It's actually about how he was given a power, an ability to do great things, and he made the goddamn most of it despite the fact that people said that he was doing wrong. The guy used the goddess's power against the goddess himself. Now that is taking what you have and bringing it to the next level. I love these inspiring hentai stories. It makes me want to become more of a man of culture myself. Thank you, Tamashi Insert. Very cool. Next hentai. Next, Oni-Chi-Chi. Everyone heard of Oni-Chi-Chi. It's like the poster boy of hentai for whatever reason. And in this bad boy, very not chill stepfather has a very not chill relationship with stepdaughter. Again, most people would think this is weird, but hentai clearly knows better. Tsunderes in anime, hold your beer. We got our next best tsundere of all time, and it's the stepdaughter, who for some really odd reason in the beginning does not want a pork stepdad. I just don't even understand it myself. Clearly, she hasn't seen enough hentai. But the real beauty is, I think this was the archetype for stepdad saying to kid, yo, let's get it on. And kid, for some odd reasons like, dad, hell nah, it's weird. So dad, uses weird druggy thing to make her turned on and whatever. And then they, have very non-YouTube friendly actions that I will not describe in the least. And then right after that, she says baka a good 24 times and then is somehow okay with the whole thing. Now this is deep shiz right here. Most people would be pissed off at whoever did that to them, but Oni-Chi-Chi takes that a step further and for whatever reason, she doesn't really seem to mind. She says baka a good 12 times, which is essentially the anime girl version of hell yeah. And despite the fact that she's constantly calling him a perverted, disgusting jerk, she still decides to go on vacations with him all the time and whatever, and not at all expect what's to come from that. So with that said and done, top 3 tsunderes in anime. Number 3, Asuka from Evangelion. Hell yeah, she is best girl. Number 2, we got this woman right here from Oni-Chi-Chi, whose name I can't be bothered to remember, because believe it or not, I'm not actually a massive degenerate that purely watches hentai all the time. And number 1, Dio. Next hentai, Space Pirate Sarah. Now, I know, we've all been there. Metroid is an awesome game. Samus is hella finna woke. We all wanted a hentai for Samus going to some other world, getting captured by space pirates or whatever, bumping into some slimes, fighting Kraid. Okay, that would have been really weird. And then, you know, some hanky-panky stuff happens right after that. Space Pirate Sarah is literally Metroid the Dojin. And everyone knows that Metroid's plot is fantastic. So I don't even need to go ahead and describe this. Only thing I have to say, Space Pirate Sarah takes zero suit a lot more literally than Samus. Next hentai. Residence. Residence is about a residence. Oh, it actually goes after its name. That's crazy. Which is a cool house that's haunted and 2 dudes walk in and it's so haunted. Evil demon Lolly, who is probably over 1,000 years old, turns one of them into a wabbit and makes him have sex with the other one until they die. Yes, this is a hentai for you. And this is literally one of those hentai that I'd love to say, any questions? Just to hear the baffled silence in the arena. Because there's nothing to ask on this airtight goddamn plot. Next hentai. Tentacle and bitches. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant tentacle and witches. My name would have been more accurate. There are tentacles and there are witches, but there's mostly bitches. When witches accidentally, trust me, it was an accident, I swear, turn the protagonist into a tentacle monster that can also turn invisible. And also has way more abilities, each of them used for a different type of sexual maneuver. They feel so bad. They're like, oh, we accidentally turned him into an invisible tentacle monster. Oh, this is so sad. I think that the only way to make it up to him is for us all to take turns having sex with him.
I don't like where this is going.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking as well. Don't turn him back. Hell no, this is way better.
No.
And I mean, of course, each one of the witches is a different archetype of anime women. You got the lollier one. You got the bustier one. You got hella thick women over there. And of course, let's not forget tsundere one. Tsundere one's great. Unfortunately, Dio is a way better tsundere, so she doesn't even make it near the top lists. Dio is my favorite girl in all of hentai. And speaking of Dio,
It's time to stop! It's time to stop, okay? No more! Where the fuck are your parents?
See what I did there? That was amazing. I talked about this for way too long now. It's like 15 minutes, if I'm able to guess based on this script. And that is probably more time than anyone has ever spent talking about hentai plots. 50,000 likes and part 2 will come out eventually. I will probably be deleting this soon because I don't think it would be good for my channel to just remain up. So get it while it's hot. Tell your friends. Spread it around. Spread the love and inspiration to the world. And I know this is under 20 minutes, so I should really be reading off my patron names. And I really do appreciate all of my patrons. Everyone is invited to the Discord server. Link to the very epic new merch in the description. Please check it out. There for a limited time. Link to my Patreon in the description, as well as my Twitter, my Twitch, and the sponsor button next to the subscribe button. But honestly, I would much rather just go take a shower right now for a very odd reason and totally not a coincidence, but also having nothing to do with the fact that this video was about hentai. Literally nothing. It's just very hot in this room today. So leave a like, subscribe for more absolute mad laddery. Have yourselves the most wonderful evening, and remember to stay weird, fam.
That's my character. I'm the trash man. I come out, I throw trash all over the ring. Trash.